good?
Yeah, man. Everything, man. Just getting ready to start this day up, man. How's everything?
I'm good, man. Just hanging in there, man. Max had me laughing when he posted what he posted, you know?
I felt like it was a little bit of a compliment to me, and it was like a punch in the face to catch like Brian and maybe trying to like a winner.
Well, well, it wasn't, let's say, directly towards any one person. You know why I was happy though, and the thing is always for me is I never like to see my immediate homies have any separation, especially like I told you on our phone call, and it was the same thing with him. Sometimes we always have our spats, but when outside people don't know that we can fight all the time and still come back together, it's a certain look that they don't never understand. You get what I'm saying? And
oh, for sure.
And so that was big for me in that sense. I the same thing with our kids and family. Like we don't care about the fame. It's family first, right? But in addition, but in addition to that, it was big that he took the time to recognize, despite whatever happened, you putting the work in to break ground and create, a platform for your brand, right? And it was funny because I don't know if you had saw that because I did a video. I had been silent in TMR for a while, but for a reason, because I had you know how I operate. I do two things. I let because I know that so many people always wait on what I'm gonna do or on what Max is gonna do, and that's outside of TMR. That's always been in Nation when we were Camp Styles. So I try to give people the opportunity to create, a lane or sometimes bring stuff to the table. And so I kind of sat back to see what the group could do for itself. And in turn, I've been watching, and I did a video the other day where I told them this is how I watch the timeline. So because I treat the timeline like the office. You remember how I was in the office when we were working. See, people don't know our background, right? So they don't know that my immediate homies, we all work together. So our history goes deeper. And so I went through the timeline, and I was going through the timeline, and I said, and I came up to yours and I said, dang, EV shared his video, and I said, his song, and I said, but it's not getting any looks. And I said, it's because you haven't built the rapport in the group, right? And I said, but he has his music, and for me, see, here's my thing, man. When we had the label, when we were Nation and everything, I always made sure that everybody knew who my immediate people were. Like, you guys were always by my side no matter what, right? And I never put myself above anybody. So when I created TMR was in hopes for me bringing all of you guys in to kind of do the same thing that we did with Nation. And so with people like you, Fab, outside of me and Max, with Josh coming in, bringing in Masaki, with Rashad and all of these people, I wanted all of you guys to kind of help me show these guys, because it's funny. And think about it when I tell you this. Talking about me, I was popular in the streets, but not for music. They knew I had that. They knew I had music. They knew I had dope music. Not discrediting the music that I did, but my name was more popular than my talent. You get what I'm saying? So
no, I know what's it.
Yeah, and so but in still, we created something with our nation, with the symbol that we had, with the three, with everything that we had. When we everywhere we went, everybody wanted to know who are these dudes? Like, what the hell do they do? Even before they knew anything, they knew how we dressed. They knew how we carried ourselves. Remember, everything we had was organized. So then when we started branching out into the back to basics, the private stocks, and all the brands that we had outside the nation, things started looking more professional. And so my hope was for TMR, for us to share these skills and these expertises with these guys of how we did it and what made it so that we didn't become as successful and popular as we could have been. Because a lot of times it'll look like we didn't become successful because we weren't talented enough, or because people maybe didn't believe in what we had to bring to the table. They didn't know that we were turning down record deals. They didn't know that one of the reasons I didn't make it was because of the fact that I was sometimes too arrogant, or I was sometimes too much of a knucklehead, that I was scaring people away, or because of the fact that I felt that I didn't want the money because my family already had the money. You know, just different stuff. You follow what I'm saying? So,
right. No,
so I remember you guys always saying, okay, Curse, you can't be cursed every time we go somewhere. Like, you can't keep scaring people off. Like, you get what I'm saying? So this is so this is right. So this right. So this is why Max had to say, okay, I'm gonna let Curse do his thing and I'm gonna come over here and do my thing. But yet and still, you floated between the loyalty between both sides. You follow what I'm saying? So this is kind of what my expectation for you was to bring into TMR, because you did a lot of stuff, especially in the private stock. You get what I'm saying? You did a lot that I personally feel that you, even outside of what you did with Rocky, you still did a lot with private stock. And we know all the same people, the Kevin Blacks and all of them kind of people, right? But with private stock alone, you brought a lot to the table. And me and Max always talk about that, right? So when you came into the group, you were quiet. And I'm saying to myself, like, why is this dude not saying what he can bring? Like, I feel like, did you forget who you were? Right? Because and follow where I'm going. Follow where I'm saying. Because I never discredit the walk of God with anybody. Because remember, before any of our circle was spiritual or God blessed, I always made sure that we talked about God in some kind of way, because we needed to be founded on something. Not saying that I was better. I'm just saying that was conversation for me, because I had to make sure that I was grounded that way, because I was living my life like I was invincible. Right? So I had to keep on telling myself, because of the fact that every time I left home, I didn't know if I was going to come back. I mean, shoot, man, remember when I thought I got shot when we were walking down the studio? I didn't cry. I chased the car. You follow what I'm saying? So we all know, you know, that we have been blessed and that we have gained something. But I'm like, dang, did EV forget his contribution to our circle? Did you forget what you meant to us? And when you kind of came in and were just quiet, and I'm like, I hope you don't forget that you still have reputable with us. You get what I'm saying? Because you have, despite on anything, bro, I need for you to understand that in our circle, you are nation. You follow what I'm saying? So what that means is there will be disagreements, there will be anything, but it won't be the same. Even when I told you about what happened with Aware, the issue with Aware was because of the fact that he wasn't understanding, and because he brought to the table some interaction between all of us, and really wasn't understanding the way that we help each other. It was kind of like, damn, now EV's coming in as the big homie, but I'm not I'm not going to go there to let Evie know why we're really mad, because it's deeper than all of this. And then when Henry got in and all of the extra stuff, like I said, not even putting it out there because that's irrelevant. I'm just like, all we're trying to do is make this place as great as it can be, because you were a big homie to Aware, just like we always big homies to each other, right? And so it's just that looking at TMR right now, like I say, it's so many selfish people in the group. That's why when you post stuff on the wall, people overlook each other on purpose, because no one wants to feel like someone is doing more. So if I ignore it, it's going to get pushed on the back burner, where hopefully everybody forget about it. You follow what I'm saying? And that's the kind of stuff that happens. And because we're in a different place where we don't go and, let's say, forcefully take the attention, it's kind of like we just kind of let it flow by. But I'm going to tell you this: understand that you have a lot to contribute in this space. Even though you don't necessarily make beats, you have the knowledge, you have the history, you have the stuff. Well, when you were, like I said, with Private Stock alone, you were doing a lot. You weren't doing that much with Back to Basics because we had already had Rick and had the things that we were doing on our end, but you were still involved in both sides. Like, you seen a lot, bro. You get what I'm saying? And even outside of those two platforms, like, you were involved in so many, in so many different things. And I'm like, why is he so quiet? And so we support you, is what I'm trying to tell you. You follow what I'm saying? And so
no, I got you. Let me say something real quick, because man, I totally hear where you're coming from, man. I feel like like today and where we are today, not us as me and you and Max,
in general, I get it,
and Nation and Private Stuff, but I'm talking about just where music is today, and where people are today, man, with the way social media, this whole wave, man. I feel like what ends up happening, man, I think you just hit on it a minute ago, was how, there's a lot of, like, when you're putting yourself out there, and I think even Max hit on it, on that comment that he made in reference to what I was doing. But I feel like when you have a group like this, what happens is you become friendly. So when you become friendly, your bias becomes what it is. So, like, for example, like, pretty much anything, like, I can just give you some examples like this. Like, let's just say you post something, right? Mm-hmm. It's pretty much a given that no matter what you post, I mean, it could be the greatest thing ever, and we need to go and holler at somebody to get put it out there or something, or it could just be the wackest thing ever, right? I'm just using this as an example.
No,
like, you pretty much know that no matter what you put up, like K-12 and Just One and the same people are gonna comment with you know what I'm saying, and they're gonna pick you up because they like you. Right. So regardless of whatever, so regardless of what you're doing, even Max will come in and he'll co-sign it. Because it's like you understand, or you like what the person's doing, or you just know the heart of that person. Like, that person is just a cool dude, and for the most part they're doing things from the right heart, and so you want to encourage them, right? So regardless of what you think about it, regardless of what your what your thoughts may be about it, regardless of what your critiques may be, you're going to come in and you're going to usually just like what that person says, because you know where they're coming from, right? And I feel like that. I feel like that's cool, because I feel like no matter what, whether it's my taste or not, that's kind of where I'm at. Whether I think it's just completely dope, or I think, well, maybe it's not my taste, but you as an artist, you as a producer, if that's, like I tell my son who's starting to produce right now, I tell him all the time, I'm like, dude, don't ever let nobody tell you that you whack. I'm like, if it's your heart, and if God has put it within you to do it, you do that. And you can put it out there, and people may like it, people may dislike it, but don't ever let that change who you are. Right. You know what I'm saying? Be you to the core. And so I feel like a lot of times we can get in a real perspective. So I have to, like, think about when I put my stuff in. Like, I put that song in there the other day. I had to think about it before I did it, because I was like, okay, do I really care what people think? Or do I just want to see? And, am I interested in hearing, even if there are critiques, am I willing to take them in strides and just say, okay, cool. So you have to think about that before you put it out there. And I feel like our group, you know, is kind of one of those groups where it's like, it kind of feels like, if I like you, I'm going to say great things. If I don't know you, I may feel welcome to just start just picking it apart a little bit. So, you know, I mean, it just kind of feels like that.
No, and it is that. And I spoke on that in that video. And I said, like, anything that Rashad puts out, people just gonna flock to it just because. And I said, I hope it's not because they think that Rashad is just their key to get on, because that's not fair to Rashad, because Rashad is a good dude. Like, I know Rashad personally, and Rashad is a big bro to me. So if you just liking people because you feel that they're your ticket to get on, and case in point, how many times did I almost die trying to protect people back in the day, right? Because of the fact that people just wanted to hang with Curse just because Curse and Hoodie and Shade had the reputation in the street. So it took Max to tell me, Curse, you putting your life on the line for people who don't really like you, bro. You get what I'm saying? So when you die, so basically while you alive, they like, oh, Curse is for fool, man. Curse ain't no punk. But when you die, they're going to be like, you was stupid. You got to think about it like that, right? But that's the same way in music, just like going to Big D, my dad. People hang around my dad because of the fact that still to this day, they still think that he had the money that he had back when. Now, he's cool, but he ain't the same person financially that he was back then. But he's seeing today that even back then, everybody wasn't his friend. They was just flocking around because of what they felt that he can do for them, right? But that's just how society is, right? So I get where you're coming from. But what I'm telling you from my perspective, from Max's perspective, bro, you got a lot of wisdom. You got a lot of territory that you have crossed. You got a lot of things that people, even if they don't want to respect you, they're going to have to respect you because you got knowledge to share. You get what I'm saying? So it don't matter if they want to listen or not. From what I'm building and this is what you got to take. And this is what I need for you to understand. And I'm going to get on Masaki the same way. I haven't talked to him yet, but I'm going to tell him the same thing. Because you know I am, older or not, I'm going to tell y'all how I feel. What you guys mean to me has nothing to do with people I've just met. It's because of the fact that I love y'all because y'all my family. But then in addition to that, I respect the stuff that you guys have placed in my life, right? So if I pull y'all into what I'm doing, it's because of the fact of what I'm trying to build, right? Because here's the point. We had Nation. We also had Option 1. Y'all were there with me in both scenarios. So what makes you think I'm not going to always bring you with me no matter where I go? Now, if we meet people along the way who want to join, then that's okay. But everybody ain't down for us like we're down for us. And I'm okay with that. And I'm learning that. But then too, we have also gained some people, like you say, Sincere. Let me call him Sincere because that's what I call him. And the Just Ones and the Kevin Wilsons. And there are some people in this group who are actually down for us for just being us because they respect who we are, right? So you gotta, but again, we have to learn how to read people. We got to learn how to understand people. I read people differently because of the fact that I was a gangbanger for so long. So I got to know who gonna kill me and who not gonna kill me, right? But in addition to that, I still take blessing and I still take life as what it is. Sometimes when you placed amongst a lot of people, first of all, we got to take it how it is. Even Christ himself couldn't reach everybody. You follow me? But he still tried. He still stamped the world. And they still talk about him to this day, whether they hate him or not. And that's okay, though. Right. You still got to place your mark upon the people. And you know, I don't get over religious and all of that kind of stuff. I just know what it means to me. But I also know what it means to be a person that serves a purpose. We all serve a purpose in no matter what it is, whether, and like I say, for me, I need for you to understand TMR to you should mean that I'm with my dudes. I'm supporting my dudes because my dudes support me. And we are a crew, we are a squad, and we in this together, right? And just like when Max say, you kept hitting the timeline, you on Instagram, you doing your thing, you doing blah, 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 blah. And I'm saying this is all we were trying to, going back to Aware, this is all we were trying to tell Aware to do.
Yeah, with dude, like I think you guys taught me something, and it kind of, it's funny, man. I'm gonna tell you real quick because you guys taught me something about that, and I'm gonna be honest because you know, in talking to Henry Walker and dealing with him, because Henry's a cool dude, man.
Oh, Henry's A1. Come on now.
Yeah. H is a cool cat, man. So I like, as I got with him, man, it started like, you know, doing stuff, man, and we were, you know, just working together, man, and everything has just been on the up and up with me and H, man, and like a lot of the stuff that Aware, when you guys were talking about, man, he had never really shown me that side. You know, he had kind of never really shown me that side until recently. So like, man, when I'll tell you what, man, when I found out that pretty much he's not, you know, he's not, I think what it is, man, I think it's like a lack of belief in yourself, man. I think what happens is, man, when you don't put yourself out there the way that you should, man, you know, you don't truly believe in what it is that you say you called to do. So I basically lately was aware, man, of taking my hands off, and I challenged him and said, hey, man, you need to start believing in what you're doing. And what I've noticed is that he's starting to pick it up, because it's like now, you know, EV's not there to hold your hand no more. Like you got to show me and show yourself, more importantly, and show God that you really about this. This is what you're called to do. You got to do it, man. And I'm showing him the way by what I'm doing. You know what I mean?
And that's all you can do is lead by example, bro.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
And a lot of times, we'll say, I believe in God, or God is in this, because we want to force ourselves to believe it to be true, right? Because of the fact that we don't know how God operates, man. I got so many homies. I got a homie, ain't gonna say his name, but bro say he robbed a bank, but he prayed before he robbed the bank, so he don't know why he went to jail. I told him, that's why you went to jail, because God needed to sit you down, because you were moving too fast in the wrong direction. But you got some people who don't realize how this God thing works, because see, the thing is, and I just told my family this, we say we believe in God, but yet and still we want to be God at the same time. It don't operate that way. Meaning that you say, God, do this for me, but you still want to control what he's doing. You still want to hold his hand and put his hand on what he wants you to do, right? So the way everything works, and that's why I say, even with you, I'm like, okay, I hope that EV is sincere in what he's preaching and what he's saying, because of the fact that if you believe in what you're saying, people automatically gonna know. And you don't have to prove it to nobody. Do you understand what I'm saying? Right. They just gonna fall in line. It's no magic trick. It's nothing extra. That's why people kill me when they be like, oh, the Lord said I'm gonna be blessed. Oh, the Lord says, oh, hey, man, kill all that. I sound like my dad right now. That's spooky. But anyway, I'm like, come on, man, let's just be real. You follow what I'm saying? Because you can lie to the people, but you can't lie to the Most High. That's just the realest thing ever.
Amen.
So you got to place it down the way it's supposed to be. And if he calls you, whatever your path may be, you got to know how he's calling you. You follow what I'm saying? Just like I got my G's call me now. And I respect the fact that how they call or they send me inbox messages telling me that they proud of me for how I am today, because they remember when I was a knucklehead, or they just proud of me for being the father or the leader that I am amongst my circle. You get what I'm saying? And that's big for me, because that's letting me know that I'm on the right path. But like I say, bro,
where your path is, where the right path is, man, is where fruit will be at, man. At the end of the day, man, you already know that, like, for the first time ever in my life, man, Like I've had people truly invest in what it is that I'm doing. Like, you know, money, time, you know, and for the, you know, like I said, because, you know, I poured into people in the past and I continue to do so, man. But for the first time, I've had some people step up and really like, you know, say, hey, here's, you know, here's this amount of money, or here's this. Go do because what you're doing is powerful. And that's when you know, when the fruit is bearing, man, you know where you're at is the correct place, man. And that's what it is at the end of the day, man. So, like I said, I'm you know, if this is to request for me to be more vocal in that space, you know,
because I'm asking you to, okay? I'm asking you to, regardless on if they check in or check out. I'm asking you to, because I know, first of all, I know what you can contribute. Max knows what you can contribute because we talk about it. In addition to that, because of the fact that you Fab and Max, we are the nation in there. Josh is off Facebook right now, but I'm saying we are a nation in there right now, and everybody else that's in there, like, they'll flock out because there's some nation dudes in there, as you know, but everybody's pretty much silent, and it shouldn't be that way, because again, we are who we are and who have always been the same people. We fear nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, now you back on the scene, back to doing your thing. And cause you got silent in music for a minute, just like I did. But you know, I always go silent because, like, people don't even know, music has never been my thing like that. I just do it just because I like to hear myself on the mic. So I keep trying to convince I keep trying to convince people the only reason I created TMR was because I like to help people. I ain't tripping off of helping myself. Right. But they don't it's funny because a lot of people don't understand that. Same thing in the workplace. People didn't understand why I was so passionate about helping people get raises. I wasn't tripping off of my paycheck. I was going to get that regardless. Why? Because the bosses loved me. But I'm trying to help them love you.
Yeah, it's favor in doing, and yeah, it's sowing also. I mean, you sowed into a lot of people, Curtis, for real. Like you really, honestly, changed the lives of a whole lot of people through your ability on what you did when you got in there, man. From the time I met you, I know this don't bear repeating. I know you don't need to hear this, but I just want to say this to you, man. Like, man, it's for real. Like when I started at Honda, I mean, you made me feel welcome there. You took me under your wing. You were like, man, I'm gonna teach you everything. Like, and from that time, I knew, you know, and then pretty much when we got to option one, same thing. And then everybody who was there, I mean, you talk about Logic, you talk about Max, you talk about Curse. I mean, not Curse, it's like you talk about Jamal, you talk about, I mean, just everybody, man. I mean, who else? Mingle Mingle came to Honda for a minute, but
no, Mingle, like, I mean, was Mingle at no, Mingle wasn't at Honda. Mingle was at option one. He was at option one. Uh-huh.
Yeah. And then that led to Fab, and that led to Chris Chaplin, and Chris Chaplin, all them cats. So, like, man, I mean, we had a whole group of cats in there, man, and everybody was literally,
it was 17 of us. It was 17 of us at option one, bro. And they hired all of y'all. They hired, when they used to interview y'all, and it's not even putting them on blast. They used to, when y'all go in the interview, they would look to see if y'all had the nation tattoo or a 3 on y'all, or they would come out and they would say, because I would say they my friends, and they would say, are they from nation? And I would say, yeah. And they say, okay, say no more. Real talk.
I remember, man. Josh was there, everybody. We're all there, man. So, like I said, it just you poured into people, man. So what you just made that comment about your success was gonna come, really is because, man, you know, it's like you reap what you sow, man. At the end of the day, you helping people, man. It's gonna come back. And like I said, with the TMR, the things that I would add to the group, and again, I'll do it because, like I said, I do, you know, from time to time when I do have time to get on social media. You know, I'll check in once in a while, but like what I'm saying is, man, is that I believe that people, man, it just seems like everybody's pretty stagnant and you know, and just being where they're at, man. And it's like, if we doing this, is this a hobby? Or is this truly something that you're called to do? It's like we need to challenge people.
Well, but that's the thing, we do. But I think that I've learned that a lot of it has to do with fear. A lot of it has to do with self-doubt. A lot of it has to do with stagnation. But then too, some of it has to do with it's easier to be at home or in the closet doing the talent because you don't have to deal with the criticism. Right? A lot of people don't want criticism, right? So you can look in the mirror and tell yourself that you dope, but when the people tell you you all right, that ruins your whole character and your image of yourself. Some people don't want to hear that. You get what I'm saying? And so it comes to that point where I'd rather just stay where I'm at. And like you say, the calling, what you're called to do, like Max had to point out to me, people like to hear you talk. People like to hear what you have to say. They don't really care about the beats. They like the beats, but it's always been about who you are as a person because you are that type of a leader. And I had to go back and I said, dang, it's been this even since elementary. You get what I'm saying? And it's not even me bragging.
You have a dynamic though. You have a dynamic to lead people. And I would tell you, man, like I said, especially with your testimony and everything that's been going on, that's happened with your health and everything, man. Like you have such a crazy testimony, man, that like you know, not only sharing it within this group, man, but I would literally tell you, man, you need to be out there talking to people. Man.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. And even with that, like I said, I'm actually working towards that. I haven't stopped. And that's why I'm even, like I said, even recording this stuff because I know that I'm supposed to do it. Right. It's just, because I go back and I listen to things that I record, even old songs. And I'm like, dang, man, like I've always had a message for myself and other people, but I just didn't realize it. Right. And so now that I'm in this period of downtime, you know how you can reflect differently. And that's where I'm at now, especially as I'm getting older, man. It's kind of like your mind changes, right? And so, but that's why I'm saying, like, when I look at all of us, man, I'm like, we have so much to give. Why not give it, regardless on how it's received? Even me and Max were talking yesterday, and he was like, man, listen, it don't matter if they like it or not. Talking about my YouTube channel, he was like, bro, you got a full-blown YouTube channel. It don't matter who likes it or who don't like it. Like, you got 40 videos. I got one video that I posted that got 1,000 views on it, and I didn't even know. You get what I'm saying? Because I'm just putting out stuff to help people. But what I say is this: you have to believe in yourself. You have to understand that whatever talent you have is given to you with the purpose to serve, right? So and it's not, and everybody doesn't have to serve or use their gifts the same way. And I say that to say this: one, we tall for a reason, you and I. You get what I'm saying? So we gotta stand tall. We gotta stand firm, right? And so this is, and I say that to say this: confidence is easy when you tall, because we always get to look down upon people, not as if we better than them, but there's this thing I've always said. I've always said about. There's something about tall people that people don't really realize. We are more self-conscious than other people. We're always timid in a way, in some ways, about, I don't know what it is, but we always feel like, dang, man, like, I'm tall, but you know, like our knees are weak, or we always have different ailments that shorter people don't have. That's why they got that Napoleon complex, because they're tougher than we are in a lot of ways, right? So our vantage point is being able to look over people. And so, but we got to use that to our advantage. And I just say that, man, like, you got to think of that when you think about all that you have gone through and that you've seen. Like, you are tower, bro. You for me, I'm saying for me, for what you can deliver to my group and standing firm in this group. If you don't know anything else, just know the fact that within TMR, you serve a purpose for helping me get this platform to where I want it to be. And you doing a lot of stuff, man.
And what it needs to be more important, because like I said, you have something, man. And I when you started it, I was like, man, you know, and things happen, and people come in and people come and go and all that, man. But at the end of the day, man, you do have something there, and you and Max have been instrumental in posting and keeping it going, man. And like I said, I mean, I you know, if any value that I can add to it, man. You know, I definitely will chime in from time to time to do so, man.
Yeah.
And if I've been silent, man, I feel you. I definitely will do that, man.
Yeah, and some of the ones that are gone, we've made them gone. We've gotten them up out of there because they were just doing all the wrong things, you know, being outside of policy. But you know, like I say, man, it'll just be a blessing to me and the group if you can share what you know. Because you know a lot, you know, and I know that you doing some stuff, and like I said, you know, it's not even a lot required outside of what you already know. You know, it's just you got the knowledge base, and the experience, and that's what we need, because it's about content. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, for real, man. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you reaching out, man. And like I said, I definitely, you know, like I said, any value I can add, I will. And anytime I can get through and get on there, man, and encourage and just, you know, give up some things that I know, man, I'm happy to do so, man.
No doubt. That's what I wanted to hit you up for. That's what's up, bro. All right, man. Have a good one.
Okay, man. Easy, man.
All right, man. Say what's up to the fam for me. All right, three's up.
Definitely. All right.
Yes,